So excited about where we are right now.
All right, now I want to disabuse some people of a notion. People tell me, well, listen, it's either Nvidia or it's AMD. And to me, if you don't think that there's room for two, you really don't understand the space. But that's you taught me that. Let's teach others that.
Well, it's absolutely true. You know, the way to think about it is there's no one size fits all in computing. There's no only one architecture. Actually, you're going to need the right compute for each application. Like, I'm excited about AI everywhere. I'm excited about AI in the cloud. I'm excited about AI in PCs, so that we each have our own, sort of AI engines. I'm excited about AI at, the edge and infrastructure that we use, throughout, the entire world. So there are all kinds of different computing that you need. And the beauty of AMD is that, we've had this vision for the last, 10 plus years. This is kind of how we've thought about, sort of what do we want to be when we grow up? We want to be the high performance computing leader. And AI is a huge, huge piece of that.
Okay, but let me give you how I feel as someone who's followed you from when the stock was at 5, and you explained to me why to sell Intel at 50 and why buy AMD at 5. So far, so good. But you explained to me a roadmap, and it was a roadmap of Italian cities, and it was going to lead to triumph. And when that triumph occurred, your company would be worth a lot more. I don't hear much about the roadmap anymore. I just hear much more about AI. What happened to the roadmap, and is that not making you that much money anymore?
Well, first of all, let me take a step back and say, you need computing of all sizes. So if you want to talk about Italian cities, I could talk to you about Italian cities. There's really, think about it this way, Jim. There's like, 3 types of computing, right? There's, this big accelerator AI computing that we're talking about for our large language models and for, all of that stuff. We're at Dreamforce.
MI300.
Yeah, MI300. We're at Dreamforce this week. There's a lot of talk about what you need to do, with agents and things like that. There's traditional compute and in CPU land where our Italian roadmap has done extraordinarily well. If you think about, data centers around the world, they need to become more efficient. There's too much old equipment. That equipment has to be upgraded. You need the highest performance, lowest power efficiency, overall total cost of ownership. We're now in our 5th generation of our Italian cities. So Turin is our latest and greatest, products there. We're just about to launch it in the next quarter. Lots of exciting things going on there. I talked about AI PCs that are also a very exciting trend that we're going to see going forward. In the PC market, where we have intelligence in AI, and then we also have our embedded computing, Jim. I've talked a lot about that. Sort of the what we're doing with FPGAs and adaptive computing. Aerospace and defense, we use a tremendous amount of AMD underneath that. When you think about industrial test and measurement, so we are computing across the board. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement around AI and accelerators, but they're really 3.
With a promise to surpass their rival in the AI chips market, AMD's CEO recently delivered a harsh warning to Nvidia and Nvidia stockholders. The talk is all about advanced micro devices and its bold moves in the server and AI industries, making waves in areas that were formerly controlled by industry titans like Nvidia and Intel. Might they actually overthrow Nvidia and regain control? Welcome back to Investing Tutorial, everyone.
Results moments ago. Let's bring in Susquehanna senior analyst Christopher Rolland. Christopher was up about 4.5% in the regular trade, up 5% or so initially on results. Now it's down 5% in overtime. Why the whiplash?
Yeah, I think initially we all thought it was a clear beat, but when we get into the segmentation, it looks like data center, which is the most important to the AMD story right now, may have missed.
So in light of that, I mean, there was already an expectation going into this print that could be potentially softer as NVIDIA continues to have such a big lead when it comes to AI. Is this a reflection of the fact that there's choppiness around its new product rollouts, or is it a reflection of something else in this competitive landscape?
Yeah, this is an unprecedented ramp of a new AI product. It's really incredible what they've been able to do in really a year here. But what this does say is that the exit rate for this year implies perhaps a little bit slower growth than we would have liked to have seen here. And, AI is a key part of this story. So I don't know if it's Nvidia weighing so much here, but this product just maybe is not getting as much growth and as much traction as bulls had hoped for.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, Christopher, in the sense that last March, like just 11 months ago, the stock was $100 a share higher, if I'm looking at this correctly. And nobody would argue that AMD isn't successful. What happened then? What does it tell us about the semiconductor market and valuations overall?
Yeah, I think it's all summed up in expectations, particularly for MI300. So there were numbers like 11 or 12 billion in 2025 MI300 revenue. And I think the buy side now is about half of that, 6 to 7 billion for the upcoming year. And that, I think, is almost 100% of that drop we've seen in the stock price since last March.
So would you buy AMD here? Would you buy something else? What do you see as the next compelling investment in the semi space?
We think AMD just on the server side and a few other things like embedded, which is FPGA. And then we're not counting this MI300 AI opportunity out entirely. We do think that these all give the stock quite a bit of optionality. So we do.
Mega cap names are in the green. Can the AI-driven tech trade maintain its momentum after rallying more than 30% this year? Let's ask that to Light Street Capital founder and CIO Glenn Kacher. Welcome back. It's good to see you and good to have you back on this busy and important day.
Thank you, Scott.
People are trying to game it all out, in part what it's going to mean for the tech space. How do you think about that?
Well, no matter who wins, I think the outcome of the election, our republic's strong. We have one of some of the greatest capital markets in the world. And I think both sides, Republican and Democrats, are highly incentivized to keep America as the leader in AI technology and cybersecurity specifically. So we think it's going to be a great night either way.
Are you sizing up various trades based on the outcome, though?
Well, as you know, we've had a huge position aimed at the shift to AI infrastructure for the last year or two, and we think that continues to do extremely well. Earlier this year or beginning of this year, I pointed out to you kind of my AI 5 basket of stocks: Nvidia, AMD, TSMC, Microsoft, Avago. That's up 66% year to date versus 46% for the Mag 7. I see that continuing through the end of the year. I think what we learned in earnings over the last several weeks is that mega cap tech companies are taking that AI infrastructure investments, taking those investments they're making, and they're using them to create new profits and better services for their clients. And as a result, we don't see that spend.
According to reports, a flat data center may be built in the first half of 2025. Income as a result of anticipated seasonality. AMD has a positive outlook overall. The business is actively making waves in the client and server industries and isn't resting on its laurels. Cisco and other allies are supporting them in this attempt. Digital giants like Amazon and Google, as well as Dell, are incorporating AMD's technologies into their platforms. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
Selective, though, now, was that the lesson of earnings, if you will?
Well, I think our selectivity was already pretty high. I mean, our top picks have been Nvidia and TSMC. I do think, we're still betting on AMD, for instance, and I think their best days in terms of their exposure to AI are still in front of them. Investors are a little bit nervous about that, and you saw some volatility as a result, but I still think AMD is going to be a big winner from AI as well.
Well, let me ask you about that, because there is legit doubt in the market, right? I mean, we saw that after earnings. What makes you so sure that they're going to be, if not at the finish line, close to when Nvidia gets there, soon enough?
Well, you talk to the customers, Scott. I mean, I think if you look at it, if you talk to an Amazon or a Meta or Microsoft, it's very strategic for them to have a second source. And, they need to keep Nvidia's pricing in check. I think Nvidia, to their credit, while prices have gone up and margins have gone up, they have not taken advantage of their customers. And I think, they've profited from them greatly, but they've not taken advantage of their market situation. But the buyers, we're talking about, hundreds of billions of dollars here going into AI infrastructure. They need to make sure there's a competitor. And we've already seen, the AI category for AMD growing to a $5 billion market.
The ramifications are evident once the dust settles. This is a stock that investors should keep a close eye on because of its strategic realignment, technological advancements, and partnerships, which form the foundation of a compelling growth story with expert forecasts hinting at sustained increases in stock value. However, do you think AMD will overtake Nvidia anytime soon? Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve. If so, click the next video on your screen to find out what companies like Nvidia have been up to lately. See you there.